Everyone knows Martin Luther King. Or do we? Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday is our one national holiday that's about social and economic justice. But what would King do if he were alive today? What would King do if he were you?
I have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
People forget that Dr. King was a controversial figure in his time. Growing up under segregation in Atlanta, King frequently questioned authority. At 25, he was a pastor in Montgomery where he began his fight for justice. When Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus, King and others organized a boycott that eventually ended racial segregation on Montgomery's bus system. King was arrested, his house was bombed, but he was fearless. After founding the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he became involved in many local campaigns, which led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. It took 10 hard, long years for organizers to get from the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. A lot of their campaigns didn't succeed. They were constantly criticized, just like movements today.
No man has a civil liberty to come up here and disrupt government. No man has a civil liberty to block traffic.
Now we are in a new phase, and that is a phase where we are seeking genuine equality.
In 1968, just before Dr. King was assassinated, he started the Poor People's Campaign. It was the Occupy movement of 1968. Thousands of poor people of all races set up an encampment called Resurrection City to demand jobs, housing, and equality.
Well, the nation understands that even with the problems here, that people ate 3 meals a day for the first time and had health care for the first time in their lives.
King's movement didn't die. It was never just about one person to begin. The movement for social and economic justice is still evolving. We are millions of people, thousands of organizers. We come from every background. We work on every issue. We live in every community. In the decades since the 60s, the gap between rich and poor has only gotten worse. At a time when Wall Street rakes in record profits, the American dream is slipping out of reach for more families. But things are changing. Inspired by Arab Spring, students and unions in Wisconsin took over the state capitol to protest cuts and attacks on labor. Occupy Wall Street inspired hundreds of occupations across the country, with over 5,000 arrests for economic justice. There are so many ways to get involved and continue Dr. King's legacy. We have to ask ourselves, what would Martin Luther King do if he were alive today? What would King do if he were you?